Hello, 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 everyone, and welcome to the Babylon 5 Retrospective Point of No Return. This week on the show, we're going to be looking at episode 3 from season 3, A Day in the Strife. But before we do that, let's welcome my co-host, the man who is the Veer to my Londo. It's Cam. Say hello, Cam.
Good evening, everybody.
Good evening. Let's see. We got some. I got a little. Do you have any admin stuff, Cam? I got a little bit.
No, I think I'm.
Not really.
Oh, whoa! Wait a minute. 661 subscribers. Wow.
That's right. We're climbing up there. Put that in your pipe and smoke it, YouTube.
Yeah.
Yeah. Eat that. Take that. The snob is a little bit sick today. I got this flu that's going around. It sort of just hit me today. I had to sleep off a couple hours. I'm not 100%. So if you can hear it in my voice, yeah.
Oh, you sound husky.
That's okay, though. I sound a little husky. Oh, yeah. The ladies like that. So anyway, I'll try to survive. I'm all drugged up and everything. So it should be all right. Should be able to get through 2 hours.
All right. I'm going to have to co-pilot this show.
Yes. Time to do something. All right. That's the only thing I needed to mention. We should, you know what? I'm going to bring in the other guys and then we're going to mention a couple more things. Let's bring in, Death Angel Shadow, our regular co-panelist, and Outpost Nerd, our guest co-panelist for today. Outpost Nerd, welcome.
What's up?
What's up? And of course, Jeff is here.
I am.
Jeff.
All right.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Afterthought, Jeff.
No, come on. Okay, so a couple of admin things. The next show is supposed to be on the 24th of December, and the one after that on the 31st. So those are not great times for the show. Christmas Eve and New Year's Eve. So what we're going to do is we're going to hold off on having any of our regular shows for that time. We will return in 2026, 2 weeks from now, with episode 4. But those days, we might do something on both those days. I'm working on some stuff, and we might do. It won't be about, it'll be sort of just fun and relaxed and whatever. So we might have a show, but it won't be about. It won't be the next episode. So we're gonna have to wait. So I think that's best for the show. And the other big news we have is that we can't give much more right now, but in the new year, this is the big news. In the new year, we have lined up an interview with someone related to Babylon 5, and it's big. We haven't set a date yet. Our people have to go and talk to his people, and then they got to go back and forth and all that stuff.
It's great to have people, isn't it?
That's right. People is Cam. That's just Cam. So we have to go back and forth a little bit, but let me tell you, if you're in the chat and you like Babylon 5, this is big. This is a big interview.
Very big.
Huge.
It's huge.
And it'll be sometime, and it'll be sometime in the new year. We're keeping it close to our chest, but as soon as we find out, the date, we're going to be pushing it out, and you'll find out. And I think that people will be surprised. They'll be like, wow, I want to be here for that. Also, they should notice that this person, he might be in the chat listening. So everyone be on your best behavior. Is Snugs in here? Snugs, I'm looking at you if you're in here.
Oh, no.
He's not here.
We're going to have to suspend him for the night.
So, keep it, try to be on your best behavior. We don't want to come across as a bunch of chuckleheads on the show, but
no more than usual.
So more than usual. So just be our regular selves or be extra.
No. That's
be on
the
your best
worst thing we
behavior.
could be.
Be on your best behavior.
Ourselves.
On your
God, imagine us being ourselves.
Sunday best behavior.
Let's say hello to everyone in the chat. Who's in the chat? Oh, Dave's in the chat. Dave, good to see you. And of course,
here,
Dave always brings greetings from the Narn delegation. Who else is here? Inverse Opinion. Have I seen you before? I got a bad memory.
Yes.
Good to see you. Umbras.
like Canadian trees up there.
Yeah, good to see you in the chat. Oh, PB is here, of course. PB will be on his best behavior. Elevating the show with his excellent questions.
Probing questions.
Probing, yes, probing. Everyone likes to be probed. That
Insightful.
very fitting for this episode, Cam. Yeah. All right.
Do you think if we ever
that's
make
all.
it to space ourselves, we'll actually meet the aliens that probe cows? Like you come a million light years just to look at a cow's butt.
I pray not.
What?
Okay, what did I just say about not derailing the show and looking good for the
Squirrel.
potential guests?
All right.
Is everybody
Squirreling is
forgetting
my
about that?
job.
Everyone's forgetting that. Yeah.
All right. To the episode, everybody.
Okay, let's get right to the episode. All right. Okay, so let's go to trivia questions first for last episode, and then we'll jump right into it. Okay, so trivia. Last week's trivia questions were: what was the race of the missionaries who poked Zach to share his blessing? Just shout them out if you in the chat. If you
That was the purple green guys.
what are they called though? You got to know the name.
I'm trying to think.
What disease does Lanier claim he is dying from? How many bombs went off during the episode? That is a tough one. I wasn't sure about that one. What is the name of the bomber and what is the name of the head monk?
I want to say it was 3.
All right, you got
Brother
2 seconds.
Theo.
And all right, go. The Drazi, of course.
Mm-hmm.
Or the ones.
6 bombs. I don't remember 6 bombs.
Netter syndrome was the disease. Yeah, apparently there were 6 bombs that went off. The name of the bomber is Robert Carlson, of course. It's a little bit of
sounds
a tough
like
one.
a real sicko.
Yeah. That's Cam's actual real name, by the way. Just so you know. And then the name of the head monk, of course, is Brother Theo.
Did JMS know somebody named Carl Robertson or something?
I hated him.
It was the guy who tormented him in grade school.
Right.
It sounds like the guy, the main character in Dispatch. Love that video game, Robert Robertson III. That's a great video game, by the way, guys.
All righty.
Sorry.
Okay. Shall we jump right into it?
Here we go.
Cam, you want to go and do your let's do your thing.
Do the short rundown.
Absolutely. Episode 47, season 3, episode 3, A Day in the Strife, written by J. Michael Straczynski, original air date November 20th, 1995, and production order 303, so right in line with the air order. The Babylon 5 crew makes contact with a strange alien probe. Jakar, standing among the Narn, is threatened from without and within, and many other things.
And a whole bunch of stuff. All right. So the episode starts off with everybody's favorite thing, a union meeting of some type with Ivanova and Sheridan. And of course, Sheridan is challenged by some guy. He says, hey, you're all tough because you got guns and all that stuff. And we don't have guns and we want guns. And we can talk about this later. I thought there was a little bit weird part of the part of the show, but anyway, he goes to the guy. He takes a weapon from one of his guards. He gives him the weapon and takes the big looking pipe thing from the other guy and said, "You got the gun now, and I got the thing. Do your thing." And of course, the guy backs down. So we get a little bit of Sheridan, showing he's a tough guy. So that's good.
He's credited as troublemaker.
Troublemaker.
One, I think.
I guess that works.
And then nextly we see the counselor Nafar show up, and he says that he's here to replace Jakar. Dun dun dun. Of course, then we have the intro. Then we hear a little bit more about Nafar talking to Sheridan, saying that the Narn and the Zantari, of course, want Jakar to return back to the homeworld. All right, so I've got there's kind of 4 things going on, but I kind of squeezed 2 of them together. So I'm just going to go over 2 of them together. But let's start with the probe. So just to remind you, in the show, the probe arrives. It's a first contact situation. It's a science probe. The probe demands that you answer these various science questions, or it'll blowing up Babylon 5. Throughout the episode, Sheridan gets a little bit suspicious at the end. He decides to not send the information to the probe, and the probe doesn't blow up. He correctly figures out that, this probe is probably going to, kill intelligent species. If they're smart enough to answer these questions, then they might be a threat to whoever sent the probe.
Well, it did blow up, but we'll talk about that.
Well, yeah. Well,
Yeah,
I was
just-
going to get to that. And then the probe, as the probe is leaving, he sends the information to the probe when it's far enough away from Babylon 5, and it does blow up. So he prevents anyone else from, getting that. The other thing, the main thing that's going on, we've got Garibaldi and Franklin. Franklin is in the bar. He's really tired. And, he mentions that he says Sheridan is a hard ass. And sort of questions it. Garibaldi mentions that Sheridan is their best chance to get out of this alive. And then Franklin goes to the little officer's room, he calls it, and he comes back completely energized and dances with a girl that he was macking on. Later on, Garibaldi asks Franklin for dinner at his private in his room. He basically questions his drug use, says, "Hey, you're using stims or something." Franklin gets mad. He insults Garibaldi, but Garibaldi kind of accepts it. Later on, we see Franklin during the episode. He gets overly worked up over a patient. He gets upset with a doctor on Earth, and he does use a stim. He tries not to, but then uses a stim. Franklin later apologizes to Garibaldi, and then lies and says he didn't take any stims. He was able to get through it. So I think we're going to see a little bit of something on that later. The next one is there's a Jakar and there's a Londo thread, and I kind of put them together, but probably shouldn't. But anyway, we'll go through it. Nafar comes in. He meets Londo. Londo is a bit of a jerk to him, asks him about the work farms and the construction gangs, and how are the executions going? That kind of thing. And of course, Nafar says, "Oh, everything's going fine." He kind of, swallows this. Veer questions him, "Hey, do you have to be such a, we beat them. Why are you being like this to him?" And Londo says, "They still have their pride. I can see it in their eyes. We got to make sure that this never happens again. They don't rise up ever again." Londo then goes to Delin. He's a bit, sad that their relationship has been damaged. Delin sets Londo straight and said, "Hey, we were never really on that friendly terms," and kind of implies that he did it to himself. But he asks for a favor from Delin, and for that Veer to be the ambassador to Mimbar. We can talk about that later too. That's good.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Then we have the bodyguard to Nafar when he shows up is meets Sheridan in the bar, and we find out, I didn't recognize him at first. We find out he's the guy that Sheridan saved from this alien spaceship when they were
both abducted.
Both abducted. Yeah.
They were both abducted. Yeah. The Strife was it a Strife ship? I can't remember the name of the ship.
Yes.
The Strife.
Okay.
Stripe.
Which is day in the Strife. Anyway, Nafar and Jakar have a discussion. They seem to be at odds. Jakar says the resistance. We get the idea that Jakar's resistance seems to be effective in the sense that they're coming over. They want to get rid of him. They want him to come back to the home world. Jakar and Nafar have a discussion. They obviously disagree. Jakar says, "Hey, we got to start right now and keep going." And Nafar says, "No, we should lay low for a little while and wait, gather our strength, and then fight." Nafar tells them that if you don't come back to the homeworld, they're going to start harassing everybody, all the Narns on Babylon 5, their families, harassing them, putting them in jail, etc. Then we have Londo and Veer. Veer doesn't want to go to Mimbar, but Londo insists. The Narns, some of the Narns on the ship challenge Nafar. Jakar has to, it almost comes to blows. Jakar has to intervene and gives them all crap. "Hey, that's not what I taught you." Jakar decides that he will return to Narn in order to prevent anybody from any of his buddies from getting hurt, being detained, and all that stuff. Garibaldi then meets Jakar and says, "Hey, you know what's going to happen if you return? They're going to kill you," which is pretty obvious. Jakar eventually tries to. He says it doesn't matter. He's going to do it anyway. It's in the hands of Jaquan. He goes. He's heading forward to go on his ship. All the other Narn stop him from leaving and prevent him and say, "Hey, freedom is more important than our security. Our people, our family back home understand. Stay here with us. And I kind of got the impression that the bodyguard might be staying. On this.
Yeah.
I kind of got that impression. I don't know if that's true or not, but and then the last thing of the show, we see Veer getting on a ship and leaving to go to Mimbar, and that's pretty much the episode. Cam.
Yes. Okay. So, as everyone can tell, there's all kinds of different storylines that kind of interweave a bit. So the kind of the overriding one, it seems, well, there's really, I'd say the A and the B plot are the Nafar and and Londo, I'm sorry, and Jakar's storyline, and then the alien probe, and then the other characters kind of weave in and out of it, in which we have Londo's interaction with several people, and then Franklin and Garibaldi's little subplot, involving addiction, and then the one thing I want to note is we have kind of a bigger role coming up here for Lieutenant Corwin, involved with the alien plot. But let's see, where should we start? The labor dispute thing. Let's start at the beginning. We've got that. We kind of start and end with that.
Yeah. I was gonna say it. That's the bookends.
Yeah, and it's Snob, you kind of already mentioned it in regards to the the confrontation and Sheridan kind of flexing his muscles there.
Yeah.
I have something.
It seems like the least important storyline, though. Like it kind of. Okay. I mean, that's my impression. I don't know.
Well, Outpost Nerd has something he wants to say about it. Go ahead.
If you think about it, Sinclair, there was one episode in season 1 that Sinclair dealt with the Union as well, and this I think this highlights the difference in styles between Sheridan and Sinclair due to it being kind of the same situation. They are two different
unions.
No, this was it doesn't say which union this is in this episode.
Well, it's the pilots one.
It says the transport pilots. Union.
Okay,
so it is a difference. Those were the dock workers before.
Let him make his point.
Yeah, sorry.
Sinclair, he knew how to play the system to get what he wanted. He was more upfront about what he was doing. He had you thinking he was going one way, and the very last second he played his so-called ally with the guy from the Senate. Or Sheridan is more hands-on. He's more beefy, but he's not. He uses that sleight of hand. Both use trickery and sneaky tactics in a way to get what they want. And I think that shows how they're kind of alike in some ways, but also their tactics are different to get to the same kind of outcome. And I would think that given if this was a more prominent plot in the episode like it was with Sinclair, I'm thinking we probably would have had a good resolution that both sides could work with. But this plot line shows you how the ramifications of what the Centauri has done is now affecting Earth as well.
Yeah, well, yeah, and a lot of the other everybody that comes through Babylon 5.
Yeah, I'm talking. Yeah, I'm focusing more on because this was the humans and dealing with, but I kind of noticed this. I noticed the parallels in both this scene and that episode. So I'm like, oh, okay, this really showcases their strengths, both the characters' strengths and differences. So, so I really liked how Sheridan handled it. I thought that was like, oh, that's so fucking badass.
Yeah, and in relation to that, there's we're kind of dealing with a little bit of Sheridan development in here, not just in this scene, but the other one. And they mentioned Garibaldi mentions when he would look through his file and such, and he has this knack for turning a negative situation into a positive.
Yep.
And then we also see his style with the alien probe, and it's like it's something just occurs to him and I know I'm jumping around a little bit, but it just occurs to him, and he goes with it. It's like he is a decision maker, right?
Yeah,
And so, anybody, Jeff or Snob, you want to comment on any of those?
Well, I mean, he started off. Obviously, this is a meeting, and all these are pilots. I don't think these pilots actually live on Babylon 5. I think they're just that's their regular route, and they're having this meeting because there's certainly a lot of them in there. They're kind of making pilots out like some of them are thugs.
Well, I think they're kind of portrayed as truckers.
yeah.
Yeah,
That's
I guess you know what that is
space
a good
truckers.
yeah, they are space truckers in a way, I guess, because they're doing the hauls. That's a good thing, and I didn't think about it that
That would
way
make
when I
a good
watched the
TV
episode.
show. That
The
would make a
backbone
good
of
TV
America.
Yeah, or the backbone of this armored
Oh, that
galaxy.
would make a good TV show.
Space trucking.
Space
Yeah.
truckers.
Yeah.
Yeah. Any rate, but the big thing. Okay, one of the points that was brought out is because of the enhanced security, that it's taking 10 to 15% longer
Mhm.
to get through customs, and of course they're all throwing a fit about this because of course time is money and so on and so forth, right? Again, going with the trucker mentality or the trucker analogy. And they're like, well, we can probably get that down to 5%, but they would have to raise the docking fees.
Right.
And of course, they
Because
don't
they would
like
have to
either
hire more
option.
inspectors. They would have to
Right.
hire
They would
more
have to,
inspectors.
they'd have to bring on
They would have
more.
to
Yeah,
cover
they'd
that
have
price. Yeah.
And
exactly.
so they're touching on this issue that comes up, regularly about
Budgets.
budgets and Babylon 5 basically having to run its, be independent,
Right.
economically.
Right. So, there was the whole there is that whole dynamic. That seems to be a thread that kind of keeps on re-emerging. I mean, we saw it with the dock workers. Of course, the dock workers do live on the station, and they are like the Teamsters, if you will, that are moving the cargo off the ships, and so on and so.
Have we already watched the episode where they have the Babylon 5 store?
Yes, that was one.
That's
that's
another point. The Babylon 5 store was meant to raise funds so they could put it. Finance is a pretty throughout the entire series. It's a pretty constant theme. Like how do they pay for this? It's not like I keep every time I'm on.
It's a Star Trek comparison because everything's not utopia. There is, you're right. This is a reality. It's rooted in making things in a reality form, right?
I see Babylon 5 as man got into space without the Deus Ex Machina of aliens arriving like in Star Trek. Like, what if we got there on our own? And that's Babylon 5.
Yeah, and we were already in space when we ran across the Centauri.
Mm-hmm.
We just didn't have some of the technology that they yeah. So
I wanted to say two things about the Sheridan thing there at the beginning. First, I think that I think they're kind of trying to show that Sheridan is. War has come to Babylon 5. It's no longer nicey nice with Sinclair. Everybody's hold hands and sing kumbaya. So Sheridan is being portrayed as a tougher officer. He's got a lot of combat experience. He's maybe the most famous for blowing up the Black Star.
Yeah.
So he's I think that they're trying to show him being tougher. He's being tougher because of all this stuff is coming up. He's gonna have to be tougher. I don't know if Cam wanted to talk about this next, but I thought it was very interesting what at the very beginning of the episode, almost what Franklin mentions, and I mentioned it earlier, what Franklin mentions about Sheridan and what Garibaldi mentions about Sheridan to Ivanova, where Franklin says, Sheridan is, he seems like a bit of a hard ass lately. Like he's, he used to be nice, right now he's being a little tougher. And, Ivanova goes back on them and back on that to him. And then Garibaldi basically says, I think Sheridan's the best chance to get us out of this alive. So,
right.
Garibaldi is already like, hey, things are going to go bad real quick. And
It's you
yeah.
mentioned you something you just said. Snob perked my ears up. You said war has finally come to Babylon 5, and a perfect example sign of that is look at the opening credits. The opening credits this season has changed. You
And the
know,
music
yeah,
and everything, the
hold on,
tone.
yes, it it's Susan voicing over. Babylon 5. It was our best hope for peace, and it failed.
Mm-hmm.
So this season, the entire tone of the entire show changes, and I think we're seeing that, and it's so good.
Yeah,
I totally agree, and I think this is another way of them showing Sheridan getting tough with the with these guys. Did you want to? I do have a big question about that. I wanted to see what you guys say about it. I thought it was pretty weird. Like, I mean, obviously they're inspecting everything. We just had an episode where bombs were blowing up all over Babylon 5. So, I mean, of course, there's going to be an increase in security. But the guy, the troublemaker number one or whoever at the beginning of the episode, he's talking like, "Oh, you only have guns, and we don't have guns." I mean, I can't imagine that anywhere like Babylon 5 would say, yeah, guns for everybody. Just everybody have guns. Yeah, it's perfectly fine.
Canadian.
Like, I can't imagine that. And it just seems a
yeah,
little ludicrous that he would suggest that.
We're in America,
we can't arm ourselves. Yeah, it's not America.
Well, they can have their guns on their ships.
Well, I'm not sure that they were. That guy was kind of off on a bit of a tangent, I think. About like you can't tell me what to do, kind of thing. I think the weapons they were looking for might have been bigger scale weapons. Again, like you mentioned, the bombing thing happened.
Oh yeah, but then he's carrying this giant pipe.
It's like a crowbar.
It was a Halligan.
Imagine?
Right?
Yeah, I was gonna say it looked like a Halligan to me.
Yeah,
I was about to say, Cam,
the
what kind of
local
tool is
mayor having imagine you go to your local council and the mayor is there and a bunch of people walk in and they're carrying giant lead pipes and machetes and crowbars and stuff. They'd be like, well, wait a second.
Like in Parks and Rec, you go talk to Ron Swanson. He's got a claymore on his desk and a shotgun pointing right at you.
Yeah, like that's a little. But anyway,
all right.
I just thought that was a little bit off there, maybe.
I mean, I think that particular character was overacted, maybe, and over.
Yeah, it was kind of a blatant, in your face kind of.
Yeah, kind of like we're gonna crack some skulls type of. It's like, really.
But maybe they had like. Maybe you saw like a PPG in the rifles that the security forces use. Maybe that's military grade weaponry, and he was probably talking about like civilian kind. I don't know. There's so many ways you could look at that scene.
It's still Babylon 5 is still a bit of a military installation, even though there's lots of civilians on it.
Yeah,
there's no way that Sheridan is going to want everybody running around.
Well, especially with the Narn and the Centauri at each other's throat.
Exactly.
Definitely.
And we just had a bunch of explosions and bombs.
It's a powder keg.
We still don't know how they got all those explosives on board, but okay.
Well, I think the thing with that was
maybe that's
vulnerable.
Maybe that's the crackdown. That's why the extra security, the extra measures.
No, I assume that's what I assumed.
Yeah,
I think my guess is the way that those got in is because they were industrial components initially. They were mining explosives.
Yeah, that may be.
Yeah.
Okay. Outpost Nerd, I think you were mentioning about that, or alluding to the fact that he pulled the cap off of the PPG, so the guy couldn't have shot him. So he's like, I'm not that stupid.
Check out the mag.
He's able, Sheridan's able to make you feel like you're in charge, like you have the upper hand, but really he's got something in his back pocket.
Yeah, and they again Garibaldi's mention of the way he does things. He's a very
tactical
thinker.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah, and I mean, he even went to the point of saying it. Well, when he did that, and he's like, here, and he hands it and give me your, and okay, go ahead, let's go, and
they trade weapons. They trade.
Yeah, and he, and the guy's like, yeah, right. Your guys are gonna blast me the first shot I take, and he's like, how do you know everybody gets a promotion? It's like, well, giving him ideas there, man. Well, he obviously trusts his crew behind him. So,
Yeah.
but
I mean, I really thought that they're setting up Sheridan, especially with what Garibaldi says about that, taking a tactical disadvantage and turning it into an advantage. They're setting up for something that's going to happen in the future that, Sheridan's going to save the day, sort of thing, like he did in was it episode 1 with the ship, something like that.
Oh,
There's
episode
gonna
1
be
of this
more of
season.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right, so. Okay, let's move on to the counselor Nafar and the Narn Jakar storyline here. So he shows up, just kind of announces that he's to be the new representative. Basically kind of the Vichy France
Mhm.
representative guy to Jakar's.
That is a great example.
I was trying to think of who was
Like
the leader of
Mussolini.
France under Nazi Germany.
Wow, that guy was a jerk. I don't. Who cares? But yeah, you're right. It's the two kind of factions, and and the different approaches. Of course, he explains. He goes to Sheridan first about this, and because Jakar still has sanctuary here through Sheridan or through Babylon 5, and Sheridan, basically turns him down and says, "Yeah, this is something you're going to have to work out amongst yourselves." And so,
this goes into the neutrality of Babylon 5.
right. But it's kind of a tall order. It's like you're a collaborator, right? This guy's a collaborator, essentially. Even though we kind of see him explain this to when he talk. Well, I'm getting ahead of myself here. So, okay, so he meets with Sheridan. Anybody have any comments on that portion of it?
I think he's coming from a genuine place. He's saying like we need to bide our time. We need to do what the Centauri say. Sheridan's like I understand where you're coming from, but he kind of he's like we're still neutral. Jakar has asked for sanctuary. We have to honor that, so we cannot get involved.
well,
Yeah, but he does kind of comment though about like, don't you want your people to be freed? Because so yeah, his official stance is neutral, but he's kind of tipping his hand in terms of where his interests lie.
well, and Nafar is kind of we just need to wait. We need to wait until we need to back off but he does have some ulterior motives. And Jeanette caught something that I missed when we were watching this.
Mhm.
And when Londo tells them, because we haven't got quite to that part yet, but Londo, he says, well, wanted to know when I can, address Jakar and let him know about this proposition that they want, right? His capture in exchange for, the safety of the families. The thing that I missed that she caught on was Londo told him to go now. And they go the next morning.
Did you notice too how Londo just dismissed him? He just just kind of waved him off. It's like you can
He's
go
putting
now.
him in his place.
Oh, Londo played that. That whole trying to be tough and break their spirit, and and Veer's like Jiminy Cricket, which of course we're going to get to this, I'm sure, but Veer's like Jiminy Cricket. But don't you think they're already a defeated people? Why do we, they're already suffering? Why do we,
Well, it's an interesting, since we're getting into the Londo thing. Londo is, he has many faces, right? And the one he's putting on here is pretty ugly, but what's interesting is then you see, because Veer's questioning of him, you see what his motive is, and I don't think a lot of the viewers are probably like, oh yeah, that's good. You should really try and break their spirit. It's kind of a cruel thing.
They still have their pride, and it's like, wow.
Londo.
The problem is that from the viewer's perspective, the war was never justified in the first place, right?
Right.
Like
Right.
the Centauri and the Narn were, they had a little border skirmish and stuff, but the Centauri sort of come out of nowhere just
I
because.
thought the Centauri had conquered them once before and left already.
They have,
they did.
But
that's what
the whole
Londo was
point-
referring to.
Yeah,
Yeah, because you
the
got
whole
to
point is
also.
that we don't see the war as justified. Like
Yeah.
Londo started the war just so he can, get glory and move up higher in the Centauri government, be the big cheese.
Yes and no. I also think, because remember in the first episode of the series, the Narn supposedly attacked this agricultural planet. Guess who was stationed at that planet?
Londo's nephew.
Londo's nephew. So
Yeah.
I'm thinking this might be a little personal. This whole thing also might have a little little tinge of.
But his his nephew wasn't killed. He was.
Yes, he was. No,
Wasn't
I don't
he?
remember. I don't.
I thought he
never
did the hostage video.
And there was he did a hostage.
And then he was killed.
Oh,
Was he
maybe.
later?
He didn't he do the hostage video, but he actually was
Maybe you're right.
party to it or something. I don't know.
I'm looking him up.
But even then, even if that's true, this was a small agricultural world. This does not, rise to the level of wiping out a planet, killing hundreds of.
Londo felt guilty because he got his nephew that really good cushy job only for him to be. It doesn't say on the wiki if he lived or survived.
Okay. Now, one thing that I think is interesting about this, though, is we see Londo, acting cruelly and everything, but then again, with Veer, it's like.
Wait! They were freed. They were freed.
Oh, okay, they were.
Yeah. So.
It's like, man, Londo's being kind of a dick.
A dick.
It's like, but then when
Why is
the
he
guy's
so mean?
gone, it's like he's not a dick. It's like yeah, I'm doing that for a purpose. Even though the purpose is also kind of cruel, it's you're seeing, like I said, these different faces of Londo. It's like he's not doing it because he enjoys it. He's decided this is the way to approach it, and he's going to do it.
He's doing what he has to in his eyes.
I don't.
Yeah,
I agree, but I don't know that this is very effective. I think he's just going to piss Nafar off more.
But he was testing him.
Like
he was testing him too. He's like, yeah, I noticed. It's
That's
like
true.
he's saying it, but I saw the pride was still there.
Especially when the executions, and the pride was still in their eyes. Yeah,
he was really pushing him on that one.
Yeah,
and so that tells you a little bit about Nafar too, because it's like, yeah, he's not taking the bait. He's a calm kind of guy, which is maybe why he's in this position. Well, the one other thing I wanted to mention was, we can look at him as the Vichy France guy, and be like, well, he's a collaborator. But on the other hand, he's the guy that's seen the executions happening, right?
We haven't gotten to that scene yet.
Yeah. But okay, so do we want to go on to him talking to Jakar then? Nafar and Jakar?
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that's about it. He goes.
That's where we're going. Yeah.
Yeah. After getting Londo's permission,
he basically calls Jakar out. He's like, "You're sitting here in luxury. What is almost is luxury, and you're too proud to leave." And you see the rage come across Jakar's face.
Oh, he played that very well.
Well, but
my God,
the thing that bothered me is is it Nafar or Nafir? I heard it like I watched
it's Nafar.
Well, I heard
Nafar. Yeah.
I heard it like said different ways during the episode. Nafar, it showed he doesn't really have a backbone. If he believed what he said, he should have stood up. He said, "No, this shows how bendable he is."
I think the show did a pretty good job of showing these different perspectives that you can, it's not like, here, you have to believe this. It's like, at least that's the way I took it, is you could look at it's like, well, Nafar's perspective is this based on what he's seen. And he kind of gives it to Jakar, and Jakar's like, how dare you? He's seen some crap in his time, right?
Yeah.
But on the other hand, it's like, well, I can kind of see that the claim. I'm not saying that the conclusion is correct, but you could see how he would get there.
Jakar's risked life and limb. He managed to.
Yes,
but he almost got blown out of this.
from
He
the,
almost
from
killed his
it's-
son.
from someone's point of view who doesn't know, you just sees Jakar out there.
Right.
It is like he's hiding.
Yeah.
I can see to Nafar's point of view.
Although he was
I-
ordered to, Jakar
He
was
was
ordered to
he
do
was
this.
ordered
Yeah.
to. He was ordered to lead the people by his government. Of course, then he's kind of he has doubts about, because he even goes so far as says, my government doesn't exist. That government no longer exists.
Yeah,
You know, and
He's
and
trying to
that's
find
that.
an excuse though to do what he's doing. I think.
I mean, he's ready, but he clearly he's challenged, put on the carpet, and he's ready to become a martyr in
Mhm.
order to save his people.
Yeah.
And
I think
and
the show did a good job of setting up both sides of the debate, but I really didn't. I didn't feel at any time. There's nothing that we've got that. I mean, Nafar might think that Jakar is doing it for pride, but there's nothing that I've seen to
I-
show that Jakar is that prideful. I mean,
No.
he thinks of his people first. He's all about that.
I think Nafar was probably had that perspective at first, and he's kind of the we need to build, but he does. I don't think Nafar at at the beginning of the episode realizes that Jakar is actually trying to build this resistance. Because Nafar maybe is coming at it from the perspective that eventually they're just gonna give up on us and leave us alone, and we just have to persevere. And
Yeah, in 100 years.
yeah, right. And that's where Jakar's coming from, and I think Jakar kind of may have won Nafar over a little bit
Mhm. Yeah, and again, it's
because
easy
he
to
does
be
back
like,
down.
yeah, it's easy to be like, oh, he's a collaborator, but we also see his other side. He's like, yeah, we are biding our time. I mean, he's saying that to in private, right? So I think the idea he's not blowing smoke on that. He really is like, yeah, this is the approach we should take. So I don't think either of them are bad guys, right? I mean,
No.
or in the wrong. This is a clash of perspectives. It's like, what do you do when you're in this situation?
yeah.
It's easy to say, yeah, fight to the death. It's like, well,
Great
then you might
sci-fi,
just
man, makes you think about certain things like that. I mean, that's
exactly, which we've
Now-
hit on many times. That's what Babylon
Yeah.
5's good at, not just saying you need to think this. It's here's the situation. What do you think?
Now, one thing on that is I think Straczynski dropped the ball a little bit on this setup. I mean, I agree with what you guys are talking about. It's it's well set up for both sides, but he didn't. I mean, it's the show as well. I mean, I don't know if you could do this in the 90s, but I mean, in rebellions and these kind of things, I mean, what often happens at the beginning is that the various groups will argue about how to deal with this with their insurrection, and they'll often kill each other off because they they don't like what the other their allies are doing, right?
This is a
And you've-
rebellion. Well, rebel. That's
That
Yeah,
is
so-
exactly what Jakar is fighting against the entire time.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Well, I'm saying that I think Straczynski. I mean, he could. I mean, I know the Narn are not supposed to fight other Narn, but I think you've seen it on. Colony was a good example of rebellion, and one rebellious group kills off another one because they don't like what they're doing. They think they're bringing too much attention to their
Mhm.
to the cause. I mean, you see it in Star Wars. Andor
Rebels,
is,
yeah.
is an example.
In Rebels,
Where
we
where
Rebels, too.
So
we saw
I mean,
it with
I
what's
think
Saul.
kind of what I'm suggesting is I don't think he went like he could have pushed it. I mean, for whatever reason he didn't. He could have pushed it a little far and forced some conflict between the Narns because it's very common. Oh no, you are not committed enough. You are gonna you're gonna screw things up for us,
Well,
and so
that
they
would
kill
go
each
against
other off.
everything he's been working on
And-
ahead of time.
Yeah, and Jakar, I was going to say exactly like Jakar has already had to win over the people, his people on Babylon 5. He's already been challenged before,
Yeah.
and he did win them over, and now he's got to win over Nafar and look. And I think what it's going to come down to is Nafar is going to be the figurehead that the Centauri are gonna think, and it's got to be because again, like I said, Nafar did not go and meet with Jakar immediately, like he
Well, he was
was
ordered
told
not to, right?
No, he was told to go now.
You're saying Londo told him to go.
London told to go now. Yes, go now and talk to Jakar.
Well, did he see me?
And-
Did he say mean go now, or did he just get out of my sight, sort of go?
No, he
No.
said go deal with him now.
Go deal with him now.
Hmm.
Yeah, and he didn't. They waited until the next morning.
Hmm.
So that was and I missed that point. Like I said, Jeanette caught it and I missed it.
Jakar's got a busy nightlife. We know that.
He liked them
Yeah.
human women.
He
Well,
likes those chicks.
we haven't
PB.
seen much of that lately.
No,
PB, I really
not
enjoyed
lately.
Colony 3 seasons. There's a show I would have preferred to get a little bit more of. Yeah.
Okay,
Anyways, sorry.
why don't we since we're kind of deep into this, why don't we finish out the we're almost there, the Jakar storyline. So basically someone had mentioned that he did agree, yeah, I will give myself up. It's the best thing to do.
Crazy.
Garibaldi comes to talk to him about that.
He's
Anyone
pissed.
anyone want to touch on that?
That I think that showed you how actually close without. It's that macho thing like, oh, we have feelings, but we're not going to talk about them, kind of thing.
Really?
Between Garibaldi and Jakar.
Well-
I thought it was kind of, if anything didn't fit, that was probably one of them, because it was like, it's kind of like a I never knew you cared so much type of thing from Jakar to
Bitch, what,
Garibaldi.
I broke the law to get you weapons. What the hell?
Yeah, right? Yeah.
Hell,
I'm like, did you forget about that?
Well, but it's always, I can kind of see it because, they've had a very acrimonious relationship because,
Yeah.
again, from the beginning, Jakar is a rabble rouser, right? And Garibaldi's the one that's got to keep him in check. And then, they had the thing with the weapons thing more recently where Garibaldi's like, I'm going to help you out. And then I think it was last week where, Jakar's kind of, running around trying to blame Londo for stuff. And Garibaldi's like, we don't have any evidence of this when the bombing, and we don't have any evidence. So they were back to kind of that thing, but they've certainly developed a mutual respect.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And Garibaldi seems to be able to make these kinds of connections with people, right? I mean, obviously he had a relationship with Londo, kind of lasted longer than anyone else's maybe. And now it's kind of shifted a little bit to Jakar.
I thought the primary reason for that exchange was to make it very clear to the audience that Jakar would be killed if he went back. I thought
that was obvious from the beginning.
I thought that was obvious
Yeah.
too, but I think that Straczynski wanted to say
It would be a
just in
public,
case you
it would
didn't
be
get
very
it.
public.
No,
If
I
Jakar
think
goes, he's dead.
I think they say
there's also the Garibaldi interaction that was there too, but
he says in the office, Jakar is the only one of the Kari still at large.
Right.
Yeah.
And
They use the term at large.
So that tells
Yeah.
me that the rest of the Kari have been captured and probably killed,
probably executed. Yeah. They were I think they were hauled off to Centauri Prime for trial.
I'm sure it was public executions too. I'm sure
Yeah,
it was done to prove their
because they were war criminals, right? According to the Centauri.
Well, that's like one of the founding fathers when the Declaration of Independence said, it was Ben Franklin who said that surely we will win or all hang together or something like that.
Wait, if we don't hang together, we'll hang separately.
Yeah, if we don't hang. Sorry, I had it in my head. Thank you, Cam. But you know what I mean. They were on it together, and Jakar's off. Off.
yeah, I think
I never really thought of Jakar as being Ben Franklin, but yeah, in a way,
He is.
He is kind of that one of
That's
those
true.
founding fathers of
Babylon 5 is France, is what we're saying again. Okay. He's
No,
hanging out with
it's,
the French ladies.
It's Casablanca.
There you go. Okay, so basically, despite the conversation with Garibaldi, he's like, I have to do this. So then he's packing his bags and he's literally leaving, and then the Narn, some of the Narn people on Babylon 5 show up, and it's like, I can't let you go. And then it's like, he kind of has that exchange. He goes to the next guy, and he's like, I can't let you go. And then they have this showing of solidarity, which then leads to Jakar being reminded of what his position is and what he worked for, and that he succeeded. Portioner, you were mentioning that he was trying to unify them, right? And he succeeded.
One thing I noticed that plays a role in this, Talon, his sword is so much more important, and we're told in these scenes why, how, and why. Talon, if you noticed during the confrontation in the hallway where they almost kill Nafir, he unsheaths his sword.
Well,
But when he walks out, hold on, let me finish, Shadow. When he walks out, he doesn't sheath it. And we find out at the end why, which to me is fascinating and a really good bit of directing on their part in that scene. Because we find out it's a special. It's what I had it written.
The kind of blade.
Yes, it's a blade that can only be sheathed unless it draws blood. So Talon he has no qualms about using it if he's going to unsheath it with under that rule.
That's
And
why I. Sorry, go ahead.
and we see at the end he gets past that by cutting his own hand and drawing blood. It's such a fascinating little tidbit to me.
I think. I mean, that's why I'm not. That's why I think it's kind of weird. Narn are not supposed to kill Narn, but yet these guys are pulling out knives. And
I've
Talon's
never
gonna
heard that.
chop a guy up.
Never heard that.
They
I've
shoot
heard
it.
of Minbari don't kill Minbari. I've never
No,
heard.
I think they said it in
Narn.
another episode earlier in the. Something
We know
like,
Drazi kill each other.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but I don't buy it. Like whenever they say it, we don't kill Narn. I'm like, well, didn't the guy stab Jakar back not too long ago? And
I don't
the guy's got a knife.
that.
He's going to stab somebody. This guy's got a gun. Like I really.
Yeah,
I find that.
I don't think
I'm a
that's
little bit-
cultural. I don't think that's a cultural taboo. It might be like a situational thing because of where they're at.
It's one of Jakar's things. He doesn't want
maybe.
people to.
Yeah,
it just doesn't
think
seem like a cultural. Because I'm like, really?
Yeah.
You seem to
Jeff,
be stabbing each other.
Jeff, what you were going to say something about Talon? What were you going to? Did we lose you, Jeff?
no.
Okay. You want me to go on with something else?
I was gonna say what they had said.
Go ahead.
At the thing, he says, "I cannot let you leave. You are valued and you are needed here."
Mm-hmm.
And that was repeated by Jadok, and it was repeated by all of the others that said something. They repeated the same thing.
I thought that was what do you think about that? That was kind of powerful in my.
I thought that was pretty important. I mean, Jakar he's the only one left from the Kyrie. He's got the legitimacy there. He's been doing a good job. Otherwise, they wouldn't have sent Nafar to try to, trick him into coming back and threatening him so that they could kill him. Obviously, the resistance is being effective. Otherwise, they wouldn't care. Right? They just leave him there. I mean, I think I just when he goes, I'm going to go back and let them kill me. Basically, I'm like, that's the stupidest thing you could do. You're the best leader they have, the only one left over. Who's got the legitimacy, and you're just going to walk into a death trap and let them execute you.
Didn't y'all say
no one can run it like you
last week?
What's that?
That he was stupid for not. Didn't y'all say last week he was stupid for not going?
No, I don't.
Did
think
y'all
Jakar?
say? Yeah. Okay, I might be misthinking. But one thing I noticed that bothered me is, does it seem like to y'all that the other Narn can't do anything without Jakar?
Well, I don't think that's true. They seem to, they go against him here, and they're like, hey, no, we don't want you to go. You're important. So they can do some things without him and stand up to him in a sense.
The purpose of this, if from my perspective, the purpose of this scene was to like I said, it was to say that, because we saw Jakar being challenged multiple times, right? In regards to him leading, not only before the rebellion, but during the war, and then after they lost. Basically, I think there were two, and now this is basically the third time, I think. And again, I think Outpost, you were mentioning that he's been trying to accomplish all these things, and this is the one where they, I think, in a very nice way, showed it's like, yeah, when the chips are down, they do finally get it, and maybe it took Nafar kind of showing the other side for them to go, yeah, you know what, Jakar's right.
So you think they've taken what Jakar has taught them and they're finally putting it into practice?
I think so. I think that's what that scene was
that
showing.
makes sense.
I mean, I think they had before, but this solidifies it, right? That they
Okay.
that speech there, where they reply like that Madman put out here. Yeah, freedom, better deny the cause of freedom than live in comfort.
And is that not, I think, a theme of this episode? Safety versus freedom.
Mm.
I don't know that it's a theme of the episode so much, but
Well, it is. It is for the Narn
I mean,
portion.
it's
I
with
think
the
that's
Narn
fair
for
to say.
sure, and maybe
Well,
we'll see more of it.
Even with the Dockers and the probe, it's that, okay, do we this Sheridan, it's like, do I risk like all this treasure trove? I'm not getting all this treasure trove, or do I, like, it's like that kind of, do I or don't I kind of thing. I'm not
I
making any sense there.
I don't think the probe is about safety versus freedom. It's more about, I don't know. I guess what kind of theme would you put there? Figuring it out. Trickery, looking beyond the just
Well,
the,
it's
the obvious.
yeah. I think that's a good point. It's like a conventional wisdom thing, or Sheridan's someone who's questioned. Again, we said he's a tactical thinker, and he's looking at that. It's like,
Yeah.
oh yeah, we were told this, and we all kind of go along with it. And then it's like, well, wait a minute, why should we be trusting that in the first place? That he is able to look at those different angles and then his intuition was right, as we saw. We'll get to that in a second here, but
Yeah. Do you
okay.
want to start?
So, well, Jeff, did you have anything else you wanted to say about the Narn storyline and Jakar and how'd you like? I mean, did you like how that turned out?
Yeah, I thought it was good. It was good. I appreciated it. I thought it was fitting. I liked the comment that Jadok had when Jakar questioned him and said, uh, you've unsheathed this blade, and it cannot be resheathed until it has drawn blood, and he, of course, he has the little back and forth with Jakar, and he says you would pull a blade on a fellow Narn, and he says Jadok points out that you have your mind and your heart, which are far stronger weapons. Your weapons outnumber me, and it is not a fair fight. And
That was such a
Well,
good line.
you said Jajak. It's Talon is the bodyguard guy, right?
Yes.
Yeah, Talon.
Jadok, but maybe it was Talon. I don't know.
Yeah.
Chittak
Yeah,
is
it
the
was
blade, I
Talon.
think.
Oh,
No,
is the
Jadok was the Narn, I think, that stopped him on the
Yeah.
but
The first one. Jadok was the first one that stopped him, and
Yeah.
then Talon.
Talon
was
is the one with the sword that was that
Yeah.
has the connection with
He's the
Sheridan.
bodyguard.
right.
But
Well,
they all repeat, and
Yeah.
and there's an interesting story with Talon as well.
Well, let's talk about that. Let's go into that. It's a short bit here. So
it's really short, but
he has a he's in the meeting with Nafar and Sheridan at first, and when he doesn't say anything, but when they leave, he kind of acknowledges Sheridan.
They give each other that eye. Yeah, I noticed that too.
Right, and then
I was gonna say he points out to Sheridan, he's like, I owe you a life debt.
yeah, right. What they meet later in the lounge or whatever,
Right,
at the bar, and then they
realize,
remind,
holy crap, it's him.
right? Yeah, they remind the audience that this was from what was it, All Alone in the Night, I think was the episode he was in. That Sheridan saved his life.
And I love that line Sheridan says, like, what will my superiors say if I start showing up with a Narn? And Talon says, they will say that there goes a man who will live to be 150.
50, yeah.
I loved it.
That was a good line.
That'd be pretty cool to have a Narn bodyguard, right?
Do they live to be 100? I guess maybe Narns live to be 150. I don't know that humans do.
You don't know. Maybe nowadays. I mean, but I liked how. This is what I really like about Babylon 5. They're able to take these little plot lines and story elements from the past and wrap them up really neatly like this. Excuse me. And it shows me like it's everything still all past episodes can still impact the current episodes in the future, unlike like other sci-fi shows where everything was very compartmentalized in each episode. Babylon 5 is far from that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they're weaving it back in. I appreciate that too.
yeah, and it makes me wonder if we won't see Talon more in the future.
I'm hoping we are, because we do need another Narn in there. Eh? Like, we need a
Yeah.
replacement for Natoth, who I really liked, but
And I could see
something like that.
Talon having Sheridan's back at some point in the future, maybe as part of the Army of Light.
Yeah, well, I got the impression that he was going to stay on Babylon 5 and maybe
Yeah,
guard
yeah,
Jakar.
me too.
That's the
Well,
impression, is what he was
the
talking.
Talon actor his name was Marshall Teague. He had played in he played already another character. He played in Infection, which was in season 1. He played that big machine monster in season 1. That was him. That was the same actor. So we've seen him before. We've seen the actor before.
Just in different makeup.
Yes, this was like
Yeah.
a full body, like almost like a lava creature from what I'm looking at.
Yeah, yeah. So, but I mean, as that character, I mean, it'd be interesting to see that character return on occasion from time to time. You know,
We'll
Well,
see.
I think
Because
that from
Sheridan
my
could have killed
perspective-
him to save himself, but he did not. And
Well, from my perspective, the Narn need to be started to be folded into the Army of Light, right? Like,
yes,
you got to start bringing these. You've got the Minbari and some of the Earthers. Time to start, bringing in. Well, sorry, they've got some of the other guys too. Some of the Drazi and they've got some of them involved as well. It's time to start bringing the Narn in a little bit too. So maybe this guy will become. I mean, I assume he's going to be Jakar's bodyguard, but maybe he'll be seconded to the Army of Light for whatever.
There was a TV movie that really handled what you're just saying, Snob, very well. It's called The Legend of the Rangers. It's a Babylon 5 movie. I'm not going to mention any more than that.
yeah.
Sure.
I haven't seen past the next episode, so
Well, that makes it so hard, Shadow.
sorry, man.
Well, we're about halfway here, so let's move on to some, because there's a lot of strings in this one still. How about just briefly we talk about Snob, you
Beer.
mentioned it, but I want to save that one for a second.
Okay.
That you had Garibaldi and Franklin were in the lounge, and then they had the encounter with the other lady from she's Earth Force, I think she was. I think she had a uniform on, and she's kind of flirting with Franklin, apparently, according to Garibaldi, and they're talking about how he's being overworked and everything, so on and so forth. And then he mentions, and he kind of goes away and then comes back, and then he's full of energy, and he he goes dancing with the girl, and then later we have
that was pretty obvious.
Yeah, he certainly got a pick me up, and then later Garibaldi invites him over to dinner, which he's done before, I think.
Yeah,
and he because Garibaldi likes making this.
The Bunny Kava.
Exactly.
Oh, I always wanted to try that.
Yeah, looked good. And then he brings up this issue. He's like, because Garibaldi's an alcoholic, right? A recovering alcoholic, and so he's like, hey, man, kind of brings up the, he's telling him he's noticed something, and so it's like a very mild intervention kind of thing.
Hey, I'm concerned about you,
right? And Franklin kind of reacts kind of badly, which and they're kind of showing a few classic signs of denial, that kind of thing. And
he responds like a classical addict,
right?
Yeah.
Converted.
I thought that too.
Yeah, and so they have that little exchange, and Franklin basically says, I don't have a problem, and then we go on to see that Franklin is kind of struggling with this throughout this episode, and he's under a lot of pressure. So I just kind of wanted to set that up. We can kind of see how it resolves in the other storylines, but did anyone want to make any comments on that in particular? If not, we can move on to something else.
I mean, I think the biggest thing is that he's, like you said, it was kind of a mild intervention. Hey, we've got we have this, you and I share this type of personality where we are so fully engaged in got to do everything, and sometimes we can fall into having that help or whatever, and
They're both workaholics to start with, right?
right,
And
right.
then, easily can spill over to
Because he did bring that up too about how he's been taking on extra shifts,
right.
which he hasn't maybe needed to do. There are other. He's not the only doctor on. He may be in
Garibaldi says
charge.
he didn't need to do it because he takes on shifts when he doesn't need to.
Right. He's been taking shifts that he didn't need to.
Well, but it's interesting because in the lounge there, they showed that he got a call and he was trying to get someone else to do it, and then he's just like, okay, fine, I'll do it. So that was a little bit of a contradiction because it's like, in one sense, they're presenting that he's not trying to do that, and the other one, Garibaldi reveals that he is. So
Right.
I didn't really understand why.
Well,
he
did snap at the one, and threaten like her career and everything else.
Well, you're talking when he's trying to get the answers later.
Yeah. But I mean, but still, that's still part of this thread here.
Yeah.
Ties into the thread that we haven't talked about yet.
Right. Well, yeah, we could hit back to that, but I was just wondering if anybody had any comments on the setup. Snob, you got anything?
No, I mean, I think getting mad at the Earth Dome person was probably justified, but you see him snapping at the other doctor and get really pissed off.
Yeah. Well,
I mean, you got 4 hours that we're gonna blow up, right? Like,
right.
Oh, we can't find him. We'll find him. Jeez.
Well, and worried about being rude. Someone being rude.
He's on vacation. Who cares?
We're about to die.
Yeah, right. Straczynski has said.
I think the whole thing was pretty obvious. Like it was obvious, very obvious to me that Franklin was showing classic signs of. I'm surprised that. I mean, I'm curious as to what happens next because I can't imagine that Garibaldi would not have seen these signs as well and said, "Okay, yeah, you're super defensive about everything."
Well, he did. That's why he tried to talk to him about it.
Because but afterwards, Garibaldi says, "Okay, hey, whatever, no problem."
Well,
like, I'm assuming that Garibaldi is just sort of pushing it back a little bit, and it's going to come up again. Because I can't imagine that Garibaldi would think, "Oh, okay, if you say you're good, then you're good."
Garibaldi knows, like, okay, if I go at him that soon after that bad of a reaction, it's going to end badly.
Yeah, he's got to.
I think that's a good point.
A little differently,
yeah.
And you see too, Franklin. Sorry, Shadow. Go ahead.
No, I was going to say at some point he's going to have to tell Sheridan. He's going to have to go. Maybe. He's going to have to go. Look, I think Dr. Franklin has a problem, and we need to help him. I don't want this on the record. I don't want this, an official thing at this point. But I think we're building towards that, and it's not resolved in this episode.
So you guys would agree then that Garibaldi knows that there's it's not resolved. Franklin is not 100% okay, and that he's just pushing it off because he knows that if he pushes it now, it's not going to go anywhere.
Garibaldi has.
That's where my thought is.
This, yeah.
With an addict, you cannot help an addict until they want help.
Right.
Yeah. Franklin is not at that point.
Yeah.
He is he's at the beginning of his addiction. He even at the scene where when he gets off the comms with that Earth Dome doctor, what does he do? The first thing he does, takes a hit.
Yeah.
I didn't want to talk about this.
That's all right. We can move on.
You don't have to.
Let's go on to the alien storyline. The kind of the other main plot. Yeah. So basically, Sheridan is in the CNC, and Corwin, one of my favorite supporting characters, Lieutenant Corwin, and he mentions they've detected this ship or whatever it is. It turns out to be a probe. Yeah, it turns out to be a probe, and then they query it or whatever, start communicating with it, and it takes some time. They're basically figuring out the language thing. But long story short, they do. Corwin, is kind of repeating it, and he's saying what it's telling them, and that it's asking a series of questions, and basically saying
like
if
600.
Yeah, there was a ton of them, and complicated questions about quantum mechanics and things like that. And if they and the message says if they answer them and prove that they are sufficiently advanced, they will share with them even more advanced technology, cure diseases, things like that. Blah, blah, blah. And they kind of just say, "Oh, okay, great, let's do it." and then then they find out about I forget exactly when they find out that there's a threat with that. It's like, if you don't answer correctly, we're gonna blow up.
It's I immediately said, I even paused it, and I was like, this is a no-win situation.
Mhm.
I said either way, they're either we're giving them information that they may not have yet, or that they may not be advanced enough to have developed on their own yet, or we're giving, or they're assessing us, and they're gonna try and destroy us. I think I told Jeanette, I said it's a literal no-win situation.
Mm-hmm.
How is Sheridan gonna resolve it? It wasn't the exact outcome, but that I expected, but I think it kind of worked. But that whole plot line, to me, was really put in there as a motivation to put pressure on everything that was going on in the episode for the
Yeah,
audience.
it
On
kind of
Franklin.
it was
No,
an
not just Franklin, on us, on everybody. You know what I mean?
it was the pressure undercurrent that kind of just
Yeah.
made the whole thing. And I thought it worked okay.
It
But
did.
yeah, you kind of jumped to the end there, Jeff, a little bit. But yes, it was basically this whole series of questions. So they're contacting Earth, trying to get answers and scrambling around to do it. And then I guess we can go back to the Franklin and his outburst, because part of the things are medical questions, and he's asking them, and the other doctor, on Earth is telling him, it's like, oh, here we have, most of the questions, and he's like, what the F are you talking about? Most of the questions, we die without all the questions. They don't grade on the
He's
curve.
on
Right?
vacation.
Yeah, it's like, well, he's not available. It's like, do you not get what I'm telling you? So I completely understood Franklin's frustration.
Oh, his
at that point.
anger was justifiable in
Yeah.
all that, dealing with that stupid bureaucratic bullshit.
Yeah.
But
My thoughts on the probe. I thought it was I like that storyline. It's a little bit. It's not like it's a little bit of a change on the trope, right? Where the probe is not going to give you good things. It's actually a trick. So I thought that was good, putting it in there. I mean, right as soon as the probe arrived, I was suspicious. I'm like, okay, well, they're coming there asking us for all this information. Then they're going to give us more information. Why would they do that? Like, why not just give us all of it if they want it all? Like, it doesn't. You got to be this level, and then we're going to push you to a higher level. Wouldn't that be more of a threat to some alien race?
yes.
Also,
Hence the explosion.
I mean, if they blew up Babylon 5, that wouldn't, like, Earth would still, like, they're not destroying a civilization. They're just destroying, a 250,000 people from various civilizations. It doesn't seem to make sense. Like,
Now the question is, did that
it was
specific probe, was it sent to Babylon 5, or did it just come across Babylon 5? That's the question that isn't answered. So I think that would be determined if we knew the answer to that.
And that's why it's so suspicious, right? Because if you want to, if you are, let's say these Earthlings are very too intelligent, they're a threat to us. You need to send a probe to every one of their planets, and you got to blow them all up. Otherwise, they're just going to be pissed at you, and they're going to just come after you, right? Like, it didn't quite made sense. So I was a little bit suspicious right off the bat. But
well, I was suspicious when they threatened to kill them all.
Yeah, if you're not smart enough, then we're going to kill you. Well, that's just, what? Well, maybe give us some time to get smart. Like, why not? Or you could help us get smart if we need to be smart. Like, that doesn't make sense.
You mean the Galactic Gardener thing, and 500 megaton weed whacker?
Yeah,
so
it didn't quite make sense right off the bat. So I think it's good that Sheridan. I'm glad they put that in there. It wasn't it was obvious, but you as the audience could see, hey, it seems a little suspicious. And then of course Sheridan could come back from that and say, and he can make the decision. Also, I'm very curious if this. I mean, I thought we knew most of what aliens were in the in the sort of the galaxy or known galaxy, and this is now more. There's more aliens out there like that nobody knows about. I'm curious as to where this probe came from, and if we're going to see something from these aliens again. What was it? A shadow trick that they sent? If it was a shadow trick, why did they send it? Why not just blow up Babylon 5? So I'm really curious if this is more. Something going on with this.
Snob, you are putting way too much into the shadows in these episodes.
I'm just saying, what is the deal? It didn't seem to make sense. So I'm
Yeah,
wondering if there's more to this probe.
Yeah, Straczynski, he did leave a lot of things hanging in his writing, didn't he?
Occasionally, yeah, he did.
Well, I'll find out.
Find out next time on
I'll
Babylon.
find out in the
yeah.
next 50 something
on the next exciting episode. Of
If
Babylon.
not,
Find out
if not,
132
that's fine.
episodes later.
If not, that's fine. But I just wondered.
Well,
the
the configuration
it
of the
didn't
ship
seem to fix.
to
Did
me,
it not look like you're so right, Shadow. It looked almost like
Vorlon,
Forlon or some. It had to be
Yeah.
advanced because it was more organic. Because in Babylon 5, the more organic your technology is, advanced it is, the more organic it is.
Yeah, I got that too. It seemed a little on the organic side.
Mhm.
Not that it was Vorlon. It didn't look like Vorlon, but it looked like that.
Yeah. So Sheridan went with his gut, was right. Again, reinforcing that he's kind of this golden boy, in terms
Yeah.
of the guy you
I
want
thought
to
that was
be
kind of
leading you.
plucked out of the air. His conclusion was almost kind of just plucked out of the air.
It
Really?
was a little sudden. I'll agree with that.
yeah.
I thought that. I mean, like I said, it
Well, there was
started. It
2
felt
minutes
weird from the
left.
beginning.
I mean, there was 2
Yeah,
minutes.
it felt weird
left.
from the beginning. Like
It
I
did-
was suspicious right from the beginning. And,
I was too. I mean, but his conclusion, he just and one thing I noticed, like the closer the timer got to 0, the less people in the background actors started doing, because they started listening to Sheridan more and more. I noticed these things in the background. I'm like, okay, why are you not just? You should be running your ass off like your hair is on fire. What are you doing just standing there listening to him?
That's the kind
Who's
of
got a
charisma
train
he's
coming
got.
by?
Me.
Yeah. He
No,
lives
you're
on a
good.
railroad track.
All
He's
the,
a
all the
hobo.
leaves, all the leaves are off the trees. So
Oh,
Comes
I
right
grew up
through.
near a railroad track. That's like a lullaby to me.
There you go. All right. Anything else on the alien storyline? Anybody wants to?
One thing I
mention?
absolutely loved. I loved, like, Sheridan's like, oh, I hope it blows up so I don't have to go back to that meeting. And when
yeah.
they don't die, he's like, oh man.
Yeah. Now I
And
got to
she's
go
like-
back to that meeting.
And Susan's just like, are you crazy? And she has the funniest. Her and Corwin have the funniest interaction. She's like, if this job does not kill me, it'll be a miracle of biblical proportions. And Corwin upstage at his station, just looking down at his station. Well, there goes my belief in the Almighty. And she
Yeah.
just gives him this look, straightens her jacket, and just walks off. I'm thinking, you got balls to say that to your superior officer.
Well, Corwin's had more than one incident where he's like, that clearly you can imagine him being the downhill from Ivanova, because
Yes.
Sheridan pushes a lot of crap on her, and then it's like he's the next one down the line,
Well, so earlier in this episode, he says something like, "Oh, I have to be optimistic, Susan, or I'll become like you." And she's like, "Wait, what does that mean? Did you hear that?" And Corwin's like, "No, I didn't hear nothing. Nope."
Nope.
No. But the best part of valor is to retreat.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
thought Ivanova had some good lines in this, even if they were sort of
They
like
did.
one-offs and stuff. They
Yeah.
gave her a little bit.
Her and Sheridan have some great little interactions, little funny moments throughout the series.
They
so
did a
far.
pretty good job of getting most of the characters into this episode.
I don't think
some of
we
the ones
saw.
that don't.
We didn't see Lanier, did we?
No, I don't think he was.
No.
I think he was the only main one we did not see.
But on the topic of the Minbari, I'm glad you brought that up. Let's talk about Londo's discussion with Delenn.
Thank you. I was
Ooh.
hoping-
So
that was. Ooh.
I'll just kind of tee it up, and basically he goes to talk. It's in Delenn's quarters, I think.
It is. I watched it about an hour before we started, so I made sure the episode's fresh in my head.
Sure. And Londo's there talking to her, and kind of, he mentions, like, it's like, oh, I'm sorry we're not as friendly as we used to be, and kind of has these things, and Delenn kind of slaps him back, rather mildly, but like several times. But here's my take on it, and I'll let you guys share your takes. Is I think Londo was not being manipulative with this. It's like it was like he really wished what he was saying was true, and Delenn kind of slapped him down. He's like, yeah, it's like, yeah, I understand. I don't have you as a friend, or maybe we never did, and but we've seen a few other instances with him and Delenn, and it's like, oh, this was a pleasure working with you. So I think Londo would like to be friendly with her, but it's hard to be friendly with Londo at this point, right?
Yeah.
Well, he's on the
Yeah,
side of evil.
Definitely.
Right.
Well, evil in their eyes. Yeah.
Yeah, and Delenn's too polite to really knock him on it, harshly, but she's also not lying about it. She's like, yeah. But
Yeah, I'm surprised she didn't say something like, "You did it to yourself, man."
yeah.
Well, she kind of did in a
No,
way.
Yeah.
not so directly, but yeah.
She says something along the lines like, "I miss us having these moments," or he says, "I miss us having this time." And it's like, "I don't think we ever really did," or something. But one thing I noticed that entire scene, Londo's sitting there being his kind of jovial self, drinking up, and
Yeah.
she's just holding it, and she's got that stone cold look on her face the entire conversation.
Yeah,
Londo is pretending that things are just as hunky dory or better than they were. In
Right.
The past in season one, but it's not true.
Yeah, and my take is that's showing him wishing that were true, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Now, but when it comes down to it, she kind of hits him, and he's like, "Okay, well, I did you a favor, now I'm asking for a favor." So he kind of cuts to the chase at some point. He gives up on it a little bit. But just a quick note: we saw him last week. He genuinely appreciated that Lanier saved his life. So again, we see many faces of Londo.
But remember, Lanier thinks like, "I think I might have saved the president and sacrificed the future."
Yeah,
Right.
yeah. And I find that all very interesting because again, Londo's kind of the villain at this point, but he's not a villain like a mustache twirling clown that's like, ah, ha, ha, look at me, I'm so evil. We see his motivations and where he is, and then you see his other side and things like regret.
I think he's trying to be that, but he's not.
No, I don't think he's trying to be that.
No,
Okay.
that's what I'm saying is that's the front he's trying to put on, like when he was talking to
in public. Yeah,
with the Narn when what's his name,
Nafar
was there. I think that he was trying to be that mustache twirling evil, villain, but he's not really, and I think that shows a great well, for one thing, just the multifacets of his character and the way he's portrayed is excellent. He's got all these different things that are pulling him, and he's got the shadow on one side, kind of whispering into his ear.
I'm glad you mentioned that.
And then he has Veer on the other side. That's kind of like,
Londo,
go ahead.
Londo is your typical Faustian character trope. He sold his soul for power, and he's trying to do good with the power the devils gave him.
Right.
And him asking Delenn to reopen the embassy on Minbar it's truly for his own purposes. There's no good reason that he wants Veer gone.
Yes.
Let's talk about that. Why?
He wants Veer gone because he likes how wide-eyed Veer and how much Veer looks at him with that wide-eyed innocence. And he doesn't want that destroyed by Veer seeing what he's going to have to do.
Well, I think that's part of it, but I think it's also because Veer he's never really had a true conscience per se, and Veer is Londo has it, and Veer is that little Jiminy Cricket.
Yep.
Like I said, that keeps on saying, don't you think? I mean, how many times have we seen Veer go, about I don't like Morden, I have bad feelings about this, I don't like, I don't think this is a good idea. Why,
Have they had their talk yet, Londo and Morden?
Yes.
Oh, I love that. It's like, I want to see your head in a pike so I can just look it up and just wave at it.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
But
Veer
and Morden. Yeah.
Yeah, I asked Veer. That's what I said. Veer and Morden. Did they have their talk yet?
Yes.
Yeah,
yes.
But
okay.
So
but
there's two. Okay, sorry. Go ahead, Ken.
No. I was just going to kind of reiterate what Outpost Nerd mentioned is so Londo's hitting her up for a favor in regards to this diplomatic station on Mimbar that they formerly had and has been closed for some time. And it's like, look, Veer's not even going to spy on you. He's inoffensive.
Yes.
And so it's an appealing prospect for Delenn, and she's like, well, I'll look into it.
Appealing for them, but it shows how bad of a Centauri Londo thinks Veer is.
Well, you got to okay.
I don't think so.
That's okay. Well, Snob, go ahead. What's your perspective on it?
So, I mean, I think you guys both hit it on the head. So there's two main reasons that Londo wants Veer gone. Number one is he doesn't want to see him lose his innocence. He likes him. And the other thing is mainly, Veer is his conscience, and it makes it harder for him to do what he's doing. There's also a little bit, I think, and this is, somewhat minor compared to those two. He doesn't want Veer to see him do what he's going to do. And I guess Veer has some respect for Londo, and he doesn't want to destroy that respect by the kind of things that he's going to do. So there's that, it's one thing to hear about it and one thing to see it in directly happening. So,
okay.
And that's minor compared to the main. You guys got the main two.
There's two different, there's two motives. Yeah. One, it'll help his advancement. I think he even said, and someday females may find you attractive,
I don't think that's a primary.
Okay.
It will help him, but I don't think Londo really cares.
Londo's official thing for why is because he has concerns about his development. But he also says, when she says, and what's the real reason?
Yeah.
He's like, well, I'm fond of Veer, and he would be better off away from here.
Well, but and I actually I think that Londo does have some genuine affection for Veer, and like
yes,
So and he probably does think it would be good for him marginally, and I agree to some degree with that. Well, I agree with some of all your points. Like Snob, you mentioned about he doesn't want him to be involved with this other stuff, but Outpost Nerd, you were mentioning that it's like, well, he really isn't maybe suited for the stuff that Londo needs him to do either. He's not a stereotypical Centauri.
So Centauri, they're that Roman Empire kind of thinking of backstabbing and blackmail. Veer does not like that, doing that thing. So that's what I said.
Right.
That's what I mean by he's not in Londo's eyes, he's not a good Centauri.
Right. Yeah.
Right.
But I think within there though, we do see the truth of Londo, and even he says that, but then he kind of insults Veer again. It's like, I got to go back to that where I can't really show, that I like him,
that I care. Yeah.
Yeah. But and then Delenn
I don't need anybody.
Right. Yeah. And so Delenn,
that's completely not true.
Yeah.
Right.
He needs people big time. And he even says that to Delenn, basically. He's like, I wish we were still friends.
Right. So Delenn says she'll check into it, and lo and behold, she says, "Yeah, we could do this." And then they go to the scene at the end where
Veer's leaving.
Where Veer's and Veer he tells Veer about it, and Veer doesn't want to go. He says, "No, I don't want to go. You need me, like you said." And that's when I was like, "I don't need anybody."
It's already been decided.
So he's getting sent off.
I was kind of surprised at that. I mean, is that it for Veer? Are we going to see Veer again? When are we going to see him again?
He's going to go share a room with Sinclair.
We like him. He's not going to be on the show much.
I wonder if he's going to be recruited into the Army of Light.
Well, I mean, I was kind of wondering about that. Like maybe Delenn is kind of thinking, hey, here's a back door into. At some point, we might need the Centauri. Here's a back door into it. Here's a guy who's very sympathetic who would be sympathetic to our cause. He's already shown that he's not good with what the Centauri are doing. Maybe it's a good idea to get him and, work on him a little, or at least have him in our back pocket or something like that. Right.
Yeah. And Sinclair is leading a bunch of Rangers, right? On Mimbar.
Yeah. He's the Antal shot. I can't, Ranger Prime.
Ranger 1.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So, but we also have Veer here too. We see, a little bit from him is, he's also concerned about Londo. He knows that Londo does need someone, and that's why he's protesting, really, not that he likes being part of all this nefarious stuff.
But that's why Londo's getting rid of him too, so that Londo can do what he has to do without feeling guilty anymore, right? Because
Well,
Spear's not
what
going
do
to be
you think?
looking over at his back and
But
tutting him and stuff.
Okay, I'm
So
going to
you really
disagree
have to
with you.
do that,
John.
questioning him.
I'm going to disagree with you a little bit there because Londo has told us that he kind of considers this over. That's why he tried to broom Morden, and it's like, yeah, we've won. I don't, so not that there isn't anything going on, but I think he thinks, yeah, we've won the big fight now. So I'm not sure that he's anticipating doing anything particularly forceful coming
Really?
up. Yeah, I mean, well, what do you think it is?
Well, I just think that things have been escalating overall.
I mean, they are
there's
fighting
maybe
with
Londo
Eldrazi
isn't aware of them. There's been more stuff going on, and doesn't Londo sense at least that, hey, things are coming, things are going downhill.
He's not
Maybe this
stupid.
is
I mean, he does see, but I don't know. I think he's kind of riding high at this point still. I think he thinks, yeah, we've kind of won. Again, not that there won't ever be anything, but I don't see him having like something particularly in the hopper that he's expecting to happen right now.
Yeah, I mean, I just we're all getting the sense that this is a calm before another storm, and the storm is going to be bigger. Now maybe that's just because we know.
We all are. Are you sure?
Well, this is what I mean. That's my sort of feeling. I mean, maybe we're getting that because it's the.
Why do you keep saying we? You're getting that.
Me.
Don't forget Londo's dream.
Well,
yeah.
With the thousands of the shadow ships flying overhead.
That's a good point, and that I think Londo does know that things are not. Maybe it's kind of quieter now, but I think he senses that there's something more coming. I mean, this is not over. There's going to be things are just building up. It's like a powder keg, pressure cooker. It's getting. It's going to explode.
Yeah, if I remember right, I think Shadow. You alluded to it. Nards have this thing where they know where they're gonna die when they're gonna die and how, or maybe how, but not when. So Londo is probably thinking, "Oh, my time is probably close to being up. I have shit to do, and I can't have this pudgy little round man,
this goody two shoes running around, holding me back, making me question my decisions." Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, I mean, I think everybody's got it. Every time I watch the show so far this season, I mean, I get the impression that things are just building. Like the pressure is just slowly rising. Rising. There's more stuff happening. Things are getting worse. Probes are showing up. People are blowing up bombs. Everybody's mad about labor.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's just going to keep ratcheting it up, and I'm just be surprised if Londo doesn't somehow sense that as well. This is, it might be quiet on Centauri. We won the war, and we just got to carry on with the executions and stuff. But like he must sense that, hey, there's more to this. There's something else coming. But maybe not. I don't know.
He's waiting for the other shoe to drop, possibly.
Yeah, I mean. Yeah. We all are, but I just have to. You're right. I have to, because we know that it's the point of no return. We know things are ratcheting up, but do the characters know that as well? I mean, obviously the forces of light know things that are ratcheting up. Sheridan and Delin and all Garibaldi, all the forces of light know things are ratcheting up because they're just starting to get things going. But does Londo? Maybe not.
Okay. Before we go to final thoughts, does anyone have any other topic from the show or scene from the show that we missed, or that you want to say anything else on?
Let me check my notes.
I got one thing here that I did have. There was an interesting comment in there about somebody named Picard following me around.
Huh?
Did you hear that line?
No.
There was a line in there. This was early on. Yeah, I clearly heard Picard following me around. And I'm like, Picard, what? It was like, had to be early on because it was before.
Do you remember who said it?
I think it was Sheridan.
Are you just trolling us, Jeff?
No, I really
have to mention Star Trek.
I didn't.
No,
see
no,
it.
no. This was between the conversation about Nafar taking charge of the local population, and then the scene where the doc was flirting again. 20 hours without a break, and which is just crazy. Yeah, it was like right in between that, and I'm like, what? What did I hear? I even rewound it and listened, and I
Damn
didn't
it!
make.
Now I gotta go watch it again, Jeff.
Sorry.
I was
But
gonna go to bed after we're done. Now I gotta go back and watch
well,
it for another hour.
but yeah, that was one of the things that I had heard. Of course, I already mentioned the 500,000 megaton weed whacker, and yeah, I think
Oh,
that was
one
it. Yeah.
one thing I noticed, there's so many inconsistencies that I catch because my damn theater professor teaching me this shit. Um, when everything's coming to a head with the probe, Sheridan asked Corman, "Do you have any probes out there?" He said, "Yes, one in range." And the very next shot is out in space with two probes.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
My autism is like, no, no. It's like
Well,
one too.
one was closer than the other.
by like 10 feet,
Yeah, I
maybe.
know, I know. But
It's like
oh,
going back to one of those other episodes when I was on here talking about the guys like just kind of like almost fake pushing the buttons when the explorer ship explodes in hyperspace. It's
yeah.
like, oh my god! Sometimes the inconsistencies.
Yeah, it was. I mean, that whole because they rerouted the answers through the probe, and then of course
Yeah,
it detonated, and but it broke off, and did it break off before the
yeah.
timer was up?
Wait, time when you're dealing with timers on TV shows like this, it's relative because they said it was like 15 seconds, and then like 2-3 minutes later of
Yeah,
dialogue it
yeah.
explodes.
It just seemed kind of like,
It's like
and then
it's like in Galaxy Quest with the self destructs going down, and they have to press it. They don't press it. It doesn't go. It doesn't stop until it's like hits one because on all that sci-fi trope, if the self destruct never stopping at one. So
yeah,
like that time is relative in countdowns, I should say.
yeah. It just was kind of a.
Kind of threw you off, huh?
Yeah, yeah, and I'm like, okay, why didn't they do that to begin with, and just start sending the data through the probe just to be careful or whatever, and I don't know. I know they were trying. He was trying to set it up. I That was to me the weakest part of the whole episode was this probe, and I get it. It
I
was to
think,
try and introduce pressure,
yeah,
but
I think it was a filler, and I was so anti-filler last week. I'm hesitant to say that, but that plot line was a filler.
so did you hear the booze I got last week? Outpost.
Yes, if they were from me. It's like, no, it's not I'm screaming. It's not a filler. I'm sitting here at my screen. It's not a fucking
I
filler.
s- I still think last week's episode was a
You
filler,
too.
but
Shut
you
up.
know, I was like, yeah, it didn't need it, but I like this episode a lot more. So
All right. So I didn't have anything, Cam. I think we covered everything that.
Okay.
I
I don't have anything else either. So
All right. Want to sum up then, everybody?
yeah.
Start with Outpost.
Sure.
I thought this was a really good episode. It really shows the building tensions between the Narn and the Centauri, and its effects on the other worlds. I think it's really starting. We're starting to see the cracks form in the Earth Alliance, and I thought, other than the probe, they really wound things up together nicely. So I'd give this 7.5 out of 10. So that's what I'm
All right.
thinking.
Jeff.
wow, yeah, okay. I was actually I thought this was a really good episode. Like I said, the whole probe thing was a little I get why it was thrown in there. I didn't think it really added too much of anything other than maybe to tie Dr. Franklin's stress to the plot line, trying to get the answers to these two final questions and all that. Yeah, whatever. Um, there was a couple of things that were a little over the top. I think we already mentioned it. The guy with the Halligan. That scene, I think it was a little overdone. But for the most part, everything with Jakar, with Londo, Veers clearly the emotion that he's showing, and even the emotions, the various emotional changes that you're seeing between Londo, between the anger and this and that and the other, and Jakar. Oh my God, Jakar's the emotion that he put in and he exhibited with just his eyes and the look.
Andrea Katsoulas is one of the best actors I've ever seen.
Oh yeah,
Who he played such an amazing. He played Tomalak in Star Trek. He was like this great Czechoslovakian. I think he was from the Czech Republic.
yeah.
He was just so underrated, so unappreciated in his time.
I mean, so just the. I think all of that was done really, really well. And I'm going to give this an 8.5. I give it an 8.5. I really liked this episode.
All right.
That was good.
Cam.
It's well, the name of the episode, "Day in the Strife," is, I think, obviously a play on day in the life kind of thing. That is all these relatively common occurrences and interactions and things, kind of put together. So it's an episode that's kind of a lot of loose ends or tidbits, but I think it's done very effectively. I think he really pulled it off, and we see a lot of the kind of character points that I tend to like, and development pieces. I usually really hammer on the main storyline, loving that the most, but this one was it worked very well. It didn't feel like a filler at all to me. It felt like it had relevant points throughout, and they wove them together effectively. So I think I'd give it an 8.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with Cam. I think that, like, some of the times in the past, other seasons, we had complaints that the storylines were very, very like separated. There'd be no, there'd be two storylines and they wouldn't cross at all. That's some of our complaints in the past. This was very well interwoven. I think Straczynski's writing is getting better and better. We're really seeing them all kind of weave into each other, so that was good. I like the probe storyline. I agree it was kind of somewhat minor, but I like anytime they do a trope and it's not quite the usual trope, they change it a little bit. They're a little, so that's good. A little bit smart with that. The weakest part for me was the Jakar storyline, and not to say that it wasn't good. It's just that, I mean, it's the show, perhaps it's the 90s, but I think that there might have been more conflict between the Narn there because of what was going on. However, I appreciate that they didn't want to write it that way for whatever reason, and it was still well done. So yeah, I thought this was a good episode at all, not filler or anything. I appreciated it. Everybody had a little part to play. I think I would give it an 8 as well.
So we're pretty much all in agreement. Wow, I think that's a first.
Good.
I think that's a first.
I enjoyed it. I mean, and it's funny because at first I'm like, uh-oh, it's another, it's a labor relations story. Uh-oh.
Yeah, it kind of started out like that.
It wasn't at all. So
it started and ended that way, but that was just to put him in the mess. What's going on because of what happened last week, and
I was glad to see more Franklin get in there, and we were following his storyline there with.
So I have a question on him. I know last season it was universal with all of us. We didn't like Franklin. How do y'all feel about him now with his development?
It's not that I didn't like him. It's just that he didn't have much to do, and I think he was being underutilized. So I'm glad to see him being utilized a bit more. It's tough with the Doctor sometimes.
He's still the weakest or my least favorite character in the series. That's of the humans. Yeah, he's of the main cast. He's kind of like the He's just there as a plot device.
I mean, I somewhat agree with that, but I don't think it's the actor's fault. It's
no.
The writing needs to,
and there was, JMS did point out that he deliberately put this whole story arc of Franklin's in there. He deliberately put this whole because he knows doctors and he knew, I don't know if he had a friend or something. I forget exactly, but he's known doctors that had that type of issue, that they went through. So he wanted to express that.
I mean, it can be hard with an ensemble cast of, in this, you get up to 7 people to get everybody in there. There's always someone who's going to be a little less utilized. So.
Somebody's getting the
well, yeah, and you're right. Being in med lab or whatever constantly, it's hard to integrate with the rest of the storyline sometimes.
Yeah.
It's like why McCoy was always standing there beside
on
Kirk.
The bridge.
Yeah. Otherwise, he wouldn't have anything to do.
It's like, Bones, don't you have something to do?
No,
I'm a doctor, damn it, not a blah blah blah.
No, I just gotta hang out up here for the storyline. All right, excellent. Okay, so let's go to let's look at the trivia questions for next episode. All right. Oh, we got 17 people watching. All right, awesome. Good. That's nice numbers live. Awesome. Great, guys. Okay, so let's look at the questions for next week. A Day in the Strife. Which character seen previously becomes a recurring character after this episode? That might be a bit of a hint. What favor does Londo ask of Delin? We talked about that. Should be pretty easy. Why does Garibaldi invite Franklin over for dinner? Because he loves him. He loves his company. What happens when Sheridan decides not to send the answers to the probe? And what happens when he does send the answers to the probe? All right. Those questions will be, maybe not next week, maybe 2 weeks from now, will be answered because we're not going to have a show next week. I'll do that. So next week, it's Christmas Eve next week for the show. So we're not going to have a show. And then after that, it's New Year's Eve when the show would regularly be on. So we're not going to have a show then. We're going to push the next episode 4 back to January. And it will be, let me just see, it should be January 7th.
Yeah.
Should be our next show, which has to do with the next episode 4, which is called Passing Through Gethsemane.
It's Gethsemane. Yeah, Jesus' garden where he prayed.
Yeah.
Let's play on that.
So, So now, next week, though, we may have a show for you. It won't be we'll do something fun. And maybe the show after we'll do something as well, too. I'll let you know. We're working on some stuff. Maybe, New Year's Eve, we'll just hang out and do some, maybe we'll pull out some Babylon 5 memes or funny pictures that are out there and just go through them while we drink in the new year, something like that. And next week, I'll try to put something together to see if I can do that. Just, maybe just a premiere or something like that. Yeah. All
okay,
right. And sorry,
go ahead.
Dan.
I was just going to say what Man was talking about.
Okay. Yeah. You want to say it? Go ahead. You do it.
No, you go ahead.
Okay. So, we have like I said, we have a big announcement. This is huge, people. We are having we're in the new year. We are going to have somebody from the show come on this show and for an interview. And, it's big. Maybe. Yeah. Maybe. The person has tentatively agreed to come on the show and do it. We just need to sort of set up the dates and stuff. And, it's big. You guys will be
thrilled.
Everyone will want to come and not miss this out. As big as, how big could it be? Think of that. It's like pretty big.
And if that works out, we will be greatly appreciative, and I think everyone would really enjoy it.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I think it'd be awesome. Yeah.
I'm the only one on stage right now that doesn't know who. Sons of a
and
bitch.
you will not know.
It's like a surprise.
You'll
Why
find
not?
out. It's a surprise.
Find out.
No,
It's a
don't
surprise.
pull that shit on me. Don't do that shit to me.
Well, we're just not going to do it right now.
We'll let you know.
It's a surprise. Yeah, we'll let you know. It's
we got
it's
to
big,
make
though.
sure
It's
we got to
big.
make sure everything is good and confirmed, and
That's right.
We're good to
Everything's good to go. And Madman is the guy behind it. He's the one who's working on it for us and doing this for us, and he's the one with the connects, and he's the one who's has set us up. But yeah, it'll be big. You guys will hear in the new year for sure.
oh yeah,
By then, we should have it all worked out as to dates. And once we get a date knocked down, then I'm happy to release who this person might be. Oh, everybody's guessing in the chat
yeah,
already.
it's great.
All
Bring up
right,
the
all
chat,
right,
damn
all
it. Bring up the.
I'm not saying nothing.
Nope.
Yeah.
Mum's
All
the
right.
word.
If it's
What about?
if it's Oxlightner, I will fucking kill somebody to be on the show with them. Holy Tron himself. Holy shit.
No comment. Okay. I'm not saying anything. All right. Anybody promo? What's coming up in your show, Post Nerd?
Just doing movie trailer reviews. I had just recently did a Supergirl trailer review, so go check it out.
All right. That's it.
Oh.
Anything else?
Not at the moment.
Okay.
Help me get those thumbs
Jeff.
up.
Well, this Sunday there is a. Oh wow, it's not letting me post it now.
Sunday.
Sunday. You're gonna see myself and Cam on the Bad News Bards at 9:00, and we're going to actually do a session 0. So Cam and I are actually going to talk about ourselves and why everybody should come and watch our show.
Yes, and that's on the Tennessee Tabletop Tavern and simulcast on Sci-Fi for Me TV.
That's right. It's going to be on both. So come check it out, and as soon as I can get this link short enough, it'll pop. And it's right before the Top Lofty Lounge. And Cam, you want to go ahead and put out
I
that?
have another Snob and I do another show Sunday evenings at 11 p.m. Eastern, where we talk about a variety of science fiction topics, sometimes movie reviews, sometimes talk about novels. Snob had a interview recently with legendary author Neil Asher. Good time.
Yeah. Good guy.
Excellent.
And so we're doing something this week. I don't know. We usually,
More tools?
Cam, you don't know. Well,
No,
there's always tools.
I always forget. I always forget. That's part of the problem. But we're doing something.
Well, this week is movie night, and I'm closing the poll here, and the movie we'll be doing is Battle Beyond the Stars, the 1980 Roger Corman Star Wars ripoff movie. We're gonna watch that. We'll put the link up. You can see it on the Internet Archives. Watch the show, watch the movie, and then come in the chat and we'll discuss it. Movie night's always pretty popular. We always go back and do these fun movies. But Battle Beyond the Stars, the Star Wars ripoff.
I may not
Roger
have seen
Corman.
it since 1980 when I saw it in the theater.
I have not seen it, so I'm glad we're doing it because I do want to see it.
Some sci-fi fan you are.
I've been meaning to watch it, so I wait. Sometimes
there is one other thing on the Sci-Fi Snob channel, because we do all kinds of dumb stuff. The Advent
cool stuff.
The Advent calendar openings on the shorts on the Sci-Fi Snob channel. Check those out. We are approaching the end very quickly here. So
yeah, if you like, it's coming up fast, isn't it?
Yep, absolutely.
Yeah, and if you don't catch those shorts on every Top Lofty Lounge, we sometimes have a tool segment, but this month we're having a tool segment every episode because Cam will summarize the tools that he got the week before, and we'll look at them and he'll talk about them. So so we'll have one of those again on Sunday.
That's right.
And make sure you everybody sign up for the Discord. I think this link still works.
The Discord link still works. All right, good. Yeah. Join this Discord. That's where we, vote on the next movie night. Keep you update on stuff that's coming. But yeah, the big thing is big interview in the new year. I mean,
we're excited.
I'm so excited. Yeah. You guys will. Yeah, you won't believe it.
Probably.
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 I just
Cam's
wanna,
the ultimate pessimist. I
just,
got you.
I'm not a pessimist. I just don't want to overpromise.
You're a realist. You're really
Overpromise and underdeliver. That's what we do here.
There
Yeah.
you go.
Yeah, we're good.
That's
at that.
our job. All right.
All right. And if we don't talk to you, everyone have a good Christmas because, like you said, next Wednesday is Christmas Eve. So
Yeah. Merry Christmas, everybody. Happy New Year. If we don't see you on, if you don't come on the next shows, thanks for joining the show. On your way out, if you could drop a like, a subscribe, or whatever. We're creeping up in the subscriber count. Any of that stuff improves our. We think the show is pretty good. We like to get it out there to more people. We appreciate it.
Oh yeah. Also, Hanukkah is ongoing, so happy Hanukkah.
Yes, it is.
Yes.
It goes through the 22nd, I think. So
I think Sunday is the last day. I think.
yeah.
Happy Hanukkah.
All right.
Okay, that's it. Thanks, everybody. We will see you maybe next week, or if not, in the new year. Good night, everybody.
Good night.